Hello, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Now, are you looking for a job or maybe looking to change your job? If you are, then very possibly you'll need to do a job interview in English online. Here are 8 top tips for a successful job interview online. Keep watching. Tip number 1, make sure you research the company. Research the company well. Now, they're probably going to research you and Google you online to see what information is on the internet, so you do the same for the company. What social media platforms is the company on? Are they on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? Make sure you do a lot of research and collect as much information as possible. Look at the company website. What is the company history? Is there anything about their culture, the culture of the company? What kind of image do they have? What is the company's competition? When you've collected this information, you have a good information base on which to ask some questions during your interview. You also want to ask some general questions about the company, regardless of what the company is like. For example, would you mind telling me a bit about the people I'd be working with? Or how would you describe the work culture of your company? Or why has this position become available? Or what are the main objectives and responsibilities of the position? Tip number 2, make sure you practice at home aloud. Make sure you're speaking and practicing your English. Record yourself on your mobile phone and listen back to how you're speaking. Speak to your dog, speak to your cat, speak to your grandmother, whoever will listen to you. Practice your English and also practice in a mirror so you can look at your body language. Look behind you. Is there anything distracting behind you? Make sure there's no window that's going to take all the light away from your face. Make sure there's no dirty washing or dirty clothes behind you, anything that could look bad in the webcam. Look directly into the webcam. Make eye contact with the interviewer the same way that I'm doing now. Make sure the camera, the webcam is at eye level. Maybe you need to put your laptop on some books to raise it higher, but make that eye contact. And remember to smile. Smile, look happy, be presentable. Make sure you're wearing a nice shirt or a nice top, and practice with a friend if possible. Connect on the internet with a friend and practice an interview situation. Tip number 5, use the best audio possible. It's a really good idea to buy an external microphone like I'm using here. Use earphones so that there's no echoing in the room, so that the sound is not coming out of your laptop speakers and back into the microphone. I'll give a recommendation for a Sennheiser headset with microphone that you could buy. It's a really good investment to have a good microphone that you can plug in to the USB. Tip number 6, make sure you check your time zone. If your interview is in another country, another part of the world, are you connecting at the correct time with your interviewer? And also get ready 10 minutes before you connect. Do you have some water, pens, paper? Make sure you have your questions ready. Open any websites that you might need before the interview. Just make sure you're prepared before you connect to the interviewer. Tip number 7, check your internet connection. It's always better to connect with a cable to the internet than on Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi signal is sometimes not very reliable. Also, turn off any notifications that you might have on your computer, any programs that are running in the background that might take away your bandwidth. Get the best internet connection that you possibly can. Make sure nobody in your house is watching Netflix, because that will also suck some bandwidth away from your internet connection. Any animals like dogs or cats, any children, make sure they're not in the same room and they're not going to disturb you while you're connecting for your interview. And when you do connect to the person you're going to speak to, do a quick check. Say, how do I sound? Or, can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? If there's a problem with the connection, you could say, shall I call you back? Or, would you prefer to speak on the phone? So make sure that you can hear the interviewer clearly and that the interviewer can hear and see you well. If you don't understand a question or something the interviewer says, ask for repetition. Now, I live in Spain and I do speak Spanish quite well, but I like to check to make sure I've understood what somebody said to me in Spanish. So don't be afraid to ask for clarification or repetition. It's a good idea to learn 2 or 3 expressions that you can use. Here are some examples. You could say, for example, could you repeat that, please? Or, would you mind repeating the question? Or, sorry, can you say that again? Or, I'm afraid I didn't catch that. Learn 2 or 3 of those, practice them, make sure that you understand everything that's being said to you. So those are 8 top tips for having an online interview. Let's go through them quickly again. Number 1, make sure you research the company. Do your homework. Find out everything that you can about the company. Practice aloud. Speak with someone. Check behind you. Make sure there's nothing bad in your background. Look into the webcam. Make eye contact. Use the best audio possible. Check your time zone. Check your connection. And don't be afraid to ask for repetition if something's not clear. You can use these 8 tips as a checklist next time you have a job interview online. But the 3 most important things to remember, I think, be prepared, be honest, and be yourself. Try not to be someone you're not, because that will be quite easy to see sometimes. And if you get the job, people are going to know you anyway. So just be yourself. On the mentioningles.com website, we do have an ebook with an MP3 audio that goes with it that will help you prepare well for your job interview. The focus is mainly a person-to-person interview, but there are also lots of tips to help you with connecting online and doing an interview on Skype or Zoom or other video software. And subjects that we talk about in the course, there's greetings and small talk, common interview questions that you may be asked. For example, tell me about yourself, or why should we hire you? Or what would you say is your greatest strength? Or what would you say is your greatest weakness? We explain how to ask for repetition and clarification, how to finish the interview at the end with expressions like, thank you so much for your time today, it's been a pleasure meeting you, those kind of things. We also look at body language, how to open yourself so that you are friendly and approachable. There's lots of useful job interview vocabulary, general words and expressions that will be useful during an interview. We look at verb tenses because you will need to speak about your past experience, and how to talk about yourself in an interview. There are also adjectives to describe your skills and lots of additional resources. If you'd like to find out more about this ebook and audio, go to store.mentioningles.net. And good luck with your interview.